More kisses. All right, everybody, we are back. Y'all, missed you guys last week. We're back tonight. You know, guys, we started a little early, get everybody coming in. So I want everybody to just come on in, and we're going to get started at 8 o'clock. We got a very special guest here tonight. We're going to get some good nuggets tonight, so we can give you guys time to come on in. Come on in the room.
Come on.
Oh, you know it.
Come on in the room.
Well, Jesus is my doctor. He write out all my scriptures. I did that one day. K was like, no, that's not right. It's Jesus loves me. He's
right. He's right.
Yeah, that was funny. Oh, I gotta tell you, he was on my phone yesterday, and he saw the church app. He said, "Daddy, the church sign."
Oh, that's cool. So he recognized it.
He recognized it. Yeah, he said, "It's a church sign."
Yeah.
I was like, "Boy, you too smart, too smart."
Yeah, you all are doing a good job, man. Training them up.
Training up, doing the best, doing the best.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. We got 2 minutes. I see people coming on. Come on. And guys, I need you to let me know where you're watching from. I just like to know what people watching from. I know your name is gonna pop up, but just let me know where you're watching from. Say what's up, Nate, and where you're watching from. Yo, guys, 2 weeks ago, I had somebody to win that $25 Amazon gift card. Now, I ain't saying I'm giving away one tonight. I may be generous later. Don't know, but somebody won it last week. Just so you guys know, I did give away a $25 Amazon gift card. The Lord might get me generous and do it. So we shall see. But I gotta see people on first. Gotta see people on. You gotta let me know where you're watching from before I even decide.
I'm gonna share it too.
That's right. Thank you, Pastor.
There we go. Yes, got it.
As we got 1 minute, 1 minute. Let me silence my phone now.
Come on. You got that song in my head now.
In the room. Come on.
In the room.
Jesus is my doctor.
Yeah. That was me.
Oh, all right, everybody. It is 8 o'clock. It's time for a Father's Authority. Guys, I feel so good to be back tonight. Last week, we didn't do anything last week. Just spent some much needed time with my family. Caleb's birthday was last weekend, so we spent some time giving him his birthday party and everything. But we are back this week. For all you guys who tune in for the first time, Father's Authority is part of Kingdom Relationships. The whole goal of Father's Authority is to change the narrative and start a conversation on fatherhood. We have so many men that are growing up without fathers, so many women that are growing up without fathers, and many men, fathers that are leaving their families. And our goal is to change that, is to get guys talking, maybe get some tips, knowledge from other fathers who are successful and stayed there, and guys who didn't have their fathers in their life that are in there. So we are here tonight, and tonight we have a very special guest. We have our pastor, Pastor DaVon Alexander of True Life Church. Pastor, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad to have you. I'm so glad to have you. We're going to get some good wisdom tonight, guys. So, Pastor DaVon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, thank you once again for having me. I love what Kingdom Relationships is doing and what you and Lakeisha are doing. What a vital topic. What a vital subject. It's imperative that we hear about fathers and the investments that fathers can make with their children, obviously, and then in this earth. So I appreciate you guys and what you're doing.
Hey.
A little bit about myself. Where do I start? I mean, born in Mississippi, you know, I haven't been there in a long time though, but my dad was military, so moved around a little bit. But I'll tell you a little bit. I'll start here. I'll start with my current family. I'm a married man, married to Stacy Alexander. We have 4 beautiful children, Ziona Grace, Zaven, Zarek J, and 9-month-old baby Zage. And so we're doing well. We live here in Indian Trail, North Carolina. I used to work in ministry. Used to work for Kenneth Copeland Ministries, actually, and then moved to Charlotte, and I started a career with financial advising. I was a financial advisor for Wachovia Bank for a number of years, and God's been good to me. Got started entry level, got promoted several times, and ended up walking away from a 6-figure salary to go into the ministry full time. So God's been good to me, and in my family's, you know, we've had babies ever since. So, he's been good to me. But yeah, we're doing well, and like I said, I appreciate you having me tonight, Nate.
That's good. Just quick, when you walked away to start ministry from God, you haven't lacked anything, right?
I have not lacked one thing. Matter of fact, there is a verse that Jesus asked his disciples, when I sent you out without money, did you lack anything? And they said nothing, you know? And so likewise, I've not lacked anything, and God's been faithful.
As God, I just want to put a plug in there for somebody out there who may be thinking about going to ministry, who may be in ministry and not, maybe struggling a little bit. I wanted to show theirs that you can move away for God and not lack anything.
Not lack anything. And if I can add, I think what's also important too is don't make a hasty decision. Be very prayerful about it. You and your spouse be in agreement about it, and then trust God. You know, trust God and watch Him supply, and watch Him do some things that you could never imagine. I mean, you'll learn more about yourself that you didn't know, and you'll obviously learn more about God that you didn't know when you take a leap of faith like that. But like I said, you got to be in agreement with your spouse, and you know, and be prayerful about this, and you know, trust the Lord.
That's good. That's good. Thank you for that. So, Pastor, tell us a little bit about your life growing up with or without your dad. If you had your father in life, or if you didn't.
Well, great question. I used to think I had a unique story until I began to talk to other people, and it seems like, especially in the time we live in, this is a very common story. But my mom had me she was just out of high school, just graduated, had me with her high school sweetheart. They never got together. And so I grew up in a single parent home until I was about 6 years old. And then my mom met who I would call my dad. You know, this man came in when I was 6. Mom and he got married. They've been married ever since. And this man is my father. And he stepped in. I don't know where I would be if he didn't show up and step in and bring that, bring that guidance, bring that godly leadership, you know, bring just that male figure, you know, into my life and train me, teach me, taught me hard work. So I grew up with a father. Obviously, my first 6 years was in a single mom household, but my dad came in and he took care of me, and for that I'm eternally grateful. So I'm a big fan of men, you know, dating women that actually may have children. I mean, you might be this father figure that can come in, you know, and help lead, guide, direct, and train a young child and alter their entire destiny. So that's my story. Mom and dad has been married over 35 years or so, still together today, and I'm blessed. I'm a blessed man. That's
good. And you said something. You and I was talking the other day about it when you said about men dating someone with children. You know, we talked about, you know, how I had a no kid rule. Things like that. Part of that is because some women because some men may want children and they may not want any more children. So he would have to be able to accept that fact that she doesn't want any more children, and be willing to still father her children without having one of his own. And I think I once said too, because that's the thing, because some guys may be like, no, I'm not doing that. But it's really about the father that those children need. You know, if you love their mother and you want to be with their mother, and she may not want any more children, but you have to be willing with that to still be the father to those children and raise them as if they were your own.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, you know, don't underestimate the conversation that you have with that woman. I mean, that should be a conversation, you know, before you get married. If you find out in the conversation she doesn't want to have any kids, I mean, that could be a deal breaker, and rightfully so. And that's understandable, you know. But like you said, Nate, I completely agree that you have to be willing to. I tell people this all the time that want to step out and maybe get with someone that has a child. And I tell them, you know, love that woman, and you also got to love that child. It can't be, I love the child, but I don't really like the woman, or I love the woman, but I don't really like the child. It won't work. You got to love that woman, and you got to really be drawn to that child as well. And when that's the case, man, things can work.
It could. So what are some ways your father impacted your life growing up?
Wow. You know, I just think he brought stability in that he arrived. You know, I'm a believer that a man can teach another boy how to be a man, and it's real difficult for a woman to teach a boy how to be a man. And he came in and he taught me how to be a man. He taught me one of the most impactful things he taught me is work ethic. I mean, he was a hardworking man, and he wasn't raising any lazy kids, you know. And I have a sister as well. He wasn't raising any lazy children. And so just that impact of hard work, get your hands dirty. If you want it, you got to go get it. One of the things he told me, even through interviews, and I think when I used to interview for corporate America jobs, I felt like I was always a really good interviewer, because this man taught me one thing: you may not be the most qualified, but you can be the best dressed. And so I took that to heart, you know, and so I'm definitely going to be the best dressed, you know. And so that being said, those are some of the things he taught me: work ethic, going after what you desire, getting your hands dirty, and just really, you know, really teaching me just how to be a man in those areas with responsibility. I know there were times, and I know a lot of people have these stories, but times I didn't do something right. You know, I'm thinking of a particular time right now. I was cutting our neighbor's grass. My dad used to make me cut everybody's grass, by the way. I don't even cut my own grass anymore, because he made me cut everybody's grass when I was a child. But I remember one time I didn't really want to do it. I didn't do a good job, man. He yanked me out of the bed, man. Go out there in the middle of the night, cut that grass.
Wow.
And that's kind of the responsibility, you know, that he taught me. And so do it right the first time. I could have stayed in the bed, right? So.
Right. It's funny you said that. I tell the story before. I never met my biological father, but my godfather, who was my pastor growing up, helped my mom raise me, and he had a model. His model was looking good and smelling good. Mm-hmm. So if you walked past him and he didn't smell cologne, to him you didn't take a bath.
Wow.
No, you had to go back and take a bath if you didn't smell cologne. And you know, my wife joked me, because to this day I have to have cologne. I'm like, I need cologne. You know, I need some cologne. Yeah. Or it was like his thing was every week, get your haircut. Here, go get your haircut. Go get your haircut. Your socks had to match your belt. Your everything had to be to a T. He also taught work ethic. It was like business. I was in church when time to count the money. I was in there. He had me count them. Turn all your bills the same way. Mm-hmm. Pay your tithes. Go pay your bills. Yeah, go downtown and pay the bill. Stuff like that. And he taught me those things on how to handle that and handle business. And I think that is vital for a child, especially a son, growing up, because I think that teaches them how to raise their families, how to be responsible men growing up, and how to handle this and appearance, because you never know what you're going to do or who you're going to meet. It was his thing was always, you never know who you're going to meet when you're out there, or who you're going to run into, or who you're going to have to help, or who's going to help you.
Right.
So when you're out there, so you always look your best, you always talk your best, you always act the best. And I think it's like a lot of kids in this generation and previous generations, they weren't taught character.
Right.
And you see kids today, no respect, and because the father's not there, so they don't have character, they don't have respect for elders, they don't have work ethic, they don't have manners, and they just dress in a kind of way. And it's just like, we need fathers to step in, and even men who are not their fathers, just mentors to step in and help them with that.
Yes. Yeah. I concur. I concur. I mean, we live in almost like an entitled age where people feel like you owe me. I stepped in for this interview. Yeah, I might look sloppy, or I might not have the character and the mannerism like you say, but you owe me this job. And I talk to business owners, and they see that a lot in employees or potential employees feeling entitled. And I think that's also due to a lack of fathers as well.
Yeah, and it's hard to find employees so they do that. It was just one time when I was in management, and I was a assistant manager at Taco Bell, and these kids came in pants sagging, a wife beater on, and it was it. And the GM hired them. I said, "You actually gonna hire them?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "We need the people." I said, "Well, we don't have to, And then they quit 2 weeks later, but it was. But I was saying because they just came in a kind of way. But that's we talk about teaching them character, and I think that's where it's needed for fathers. So, what does fatherhood mean to you?
This is a great question. What does fatherhood mean to me? I believe that it is so very important. Fatherhood is so very important because it gives a father the opportunity and the responsibility to raise the standard, to take us to a higher level, in our way, in our thinking, in our dress code, in our mindset, with our vision and our mission. Fathers have that opportunity to raise the standard. And so what it means to me, it means everything to me in that I read a stat recently, and I can't cite the source, forgive me, but I read a stat that said, if we just take it with the church, that if a mom takes the kids to church, it's like something like 25 to 30% chance that those kids will continue to go to church when they become adults. But if a father takes the family to church, it's like 90% chance that those kids will continue to be a part of a church. I mean, it's just the influence that a father has. It almost can't even be calculated or measured. I believe the entire family. I hope this is answering the question, but I believe the entire family is rested upon the backbone of a man. I mean, and then then a woman there, and then when you get the kids there as well. I mean, if that father has a shaky foundation, that whole family will. And so I think what fatherhood means to me, it means absolutely everything to me. And I think with being a father, I take that responsibility very seriously.
Yeah, and as you said that, I was reading something from Miles Monroe. I was listening to a sermon from Miles Monroe. He was talking about fatherhood. This is when Caleb was first born, and I'm trying to learn about fatherhood and everything to make sure I'm a great father. And he said, we say the father is the head, but the father is supposed to be up here, but the father's supposed to be down here.
Right.
He's the foundation. He's what holds the home together. He's what holds the family together. And if it's just like a house, the foundation is crooked, or the foundation is not right, or the foundation is not stable, then the whole house will fall.
That's right.
That's the same thing with fathers. If a father says we're the foundation of our family, we have to be stable emotionally, we have to be stable physically, we have to be stable mentally, we have to be stable financially. We have to do our best to be stable in all those areas, because like us, if things going to go wrong in the home, we can't panic.
No.
Because if we panic,
the whole home
panics, right? Everything falls apart. So we got to hold our head on straight. If the money is low or the bills coming in, we can't start just stressing out and going crazy. We have to be firm and say, okay, this is what we're going to do. Or we sit down and talk to our wives, say, babe, let's come up with a plan. Or like you said something Sunday, you said, Pastor Stacy used to tell you stuff and you realize a lot of times she was right.
Right.
Sometimes they may say things to us that we have to be strong enough and strength enough to submit to that and say, you know what, babe, you're right. Let's do that. You know,
right.
And then if it doesn't work, then you say, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. A lot of times they're right, because there's plenty of times Keisha would say, babe, you know, I want to do this, do that, and I think we should do this. And I think about it, and yeah, babe, that's right. You know, she's the financial, the budgetista of the house, you know. Right. So when it comes to finances, I'm not intimidated because she handles it. No. It don't make me less of a man. No. But as the foundation, I got to be able to realize that and understand that's not my strength. That's her strength. So I'll let her work her strength, and then I'll listen to her and take her advice on her strength, and then my strength, I'll step in and we come in together. But a lot of men, they're not willing to say, okay, I don't know that, or they feel like it makes them weak if they say you handle that, if she's handling that, or that. But being the foundation, you need to know where your strengths are and where your weaknesses are, because if there's a crack in the foundation of a house, the architect's got to know where to fill it and what to fill it with, to make sure that it's the right thing to hold the house up.
That's right. That's right. And we've got to remember too, because I think far too often men, we love to pass the buck and we love to pass the blame. And we have to remember that every decision in that home ultimately is your decision. Now you get wise counsel, advice from your wife. They're discerning and you listen, but you can't, if it doesn't work, you can't say, well, that's your fault.
Right.
So you got to take it and say, hey, you know what? Yes, that's my decision. You know, even though, you know, you might have submitted to her way of thinking, at the end of the day, you got to look at it and say that's your decision. I mean, it's likewise in the Garden of Eden. I mean, when Eve took the fruit, right, ate it, brought it to her man, God showed up to Adam.
Yep.
And asked him, what's going on? Because everything rises and falls on the leadership of the man in the household. And too often we pass the buck. Too often we want to blame somebody else, blame our spouse, blame our kids, blame someone else. But we've got to be man enough to say, hey, that was my call, my decision. We'll correct it next time. You know, we'll do something different next time, whatever the case may be. But that's on me. That's on me, and that's what a real leader does. When you don't pass the buck and pass the blame around. Well, that's your fault. No, you take it.
Right.
You take it as a husband. You take it as a father. You take it as a man, and then you move on. You know, because the truth is, people, your family especially, and I know we'll probably get into this later, but people would rather follow a man who's always real, than one who's always right.
Yep.
And I think, you know, when you're real, hey, that's on me. Let's move on. You know, and that's what a man does.
Yeah, and that also teaches your kids integrity.
Yeah,
teach your kids teach your character when they see that. When your kids see that, oh, dad is willing to, you know, take responsibility, then they'll grow up when they see it, because they're going to emulate you. So when they get in a situation like that, they're going to take responsibility for it.
That's right.
They may as they growing up as a younger, you know, because they don't want to spank, don't want punishment, you know, they may not do. But as they get older, they take responsibility. Dad, you know, I dropped the ball on that one. You know, so I take responsibility, and that's good because they're going to do what they see dad does.
Right.
And that's the key. So what's the best part of being a father?
You know, the best part of being a father, I mean, outside of coming home right? Kids jumping on you, loving you. Outside of, you know, seeing yourself in them, you know, and seeing, you know, their, you know, mini me's and that sort of thing. Oh, just like me. He looks like me. He thinks like me, whatever the case. All those things are important outside of hearing, you know, I got a 9-month-old, right, saying dada, and my 4-year-old jumping in my lap, and my, you know, 8-year-old trying to wrestle, my 6-year-old asking me political questions, you know, outside all of that, which is great. I think to answer your question, I think the opportunity to influence a person with your lifestyle is the best benefit of being a father. See, in the position I'm in, my words, you know, there are people that are under my leadership or under my guidance, you know, part of the flock of the church, whatever, outside. You know, people hear my words, they take those words to heart, they move on, but they really don't know my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. They just know my words. But your family, your kids, they know your life.
They know you when you get home.
They know what happens when you get home. They know, are you a hypocrite? You know, they know you're saying one thing and wooing everybody, but when you get home, you're doing another thing. And I think the opportunity to really invest, because there's only a handful of people that really know your life. They live in the house with you. And I think that is the biggest, I don't remember exactly your question, but that's the biggest benefit, I believe, of being a father, accepting that responsibility that I'm going to impact them with my lifestyle. And I'll give you an example. This happened just recently. So I've been wanting a steak, right? And I was craving a steak, and my wife, Stacy, you know, she goes out and she surprises me, and she marinates this steak and seasons the steak, and she pulls it out the fridge, and she's like, yeah, grill it. And I'm like, oh, baby, I've been wanting a steak. Thank you so much. I throw the steak on the grill. Oh, I get it. You know, I like my steak medium well. I get it perfectly, you know, right there, medium well. I said, I'm going to leave it on the grill just a little bit longer. I had the grill cut off, whatever the case may be. All my kids sitting around. I go back in the house. I come back, and the steak is gone. The grill is on fire. The steak is disintegrated. It is gone, right? And I've been craving this steak all week long. I get so angry. I walk in the house, and all of my kids they know what's going on. I walk in, and they're all staring at me, just looking at me. And I really wanted to, you know, being honest, I wanted to grab something. I wanted to throw something. I wanted to yell out. I wanted to holler. I wanted to fuss. But they looked at me, and I thought, this is a moment that they'll remember the rest of their life. How am I going to respond?
Wow.
Being upset. And I took a deep breath. I walked back outside, walked around the house a little bit, came back in and say, Daddy's okay. You know, I'm going to jump in the car. I'm going to go get something to eat, you know, and come on back home. But that's a moment, right? You know, are you going to walk the walk? Are you going to talk the talk, but not walk the walk? Right? Are you going to talk about Pastor being patient and kind and don't get angry and don't, you know, be angry, but sin not? You can talk all that, but I'm going to watch and see if you're going to live this. And there's only a handful of people that can see that, and that's your family. And so I think, to me, that's the greatest benefit of being a father. I'm able to impact them with my lifestyle, because they're not going to necessarily always do what you say, but they will do what you do.
Yeah.
And so that's my answer. Okay.
Well, yeah, the question was, what's the best part of being a father? So you answered it.
There you go.
And it's so funny you said, it's amazing you say that, because I know it's like with Caleb, he watches everything I do, everything. And so there are times, I'll be honest, that I may have gotten frustrated with him, and I may have raised my voice, but I realized that I didn't need to raise my voice, and I got him. I said, come here. I said, Daddy apologized for raising his voice at you. I shouldn't raise my voice. Didn't mean it, but Daddy was upset, and Daddy was disappointed, you know. And so it's like one time he said, Daddy, it's too loud. so I do, but I told him, you know, and I apologized him, so let him see that Daddy can apologize, and when Daddy admits that he's wrong, and you can do this too, because he's watching it, and they're watching what you do, and they're watching what you say, and watching how you say it, and they're gonna start repeating that and emulate that. And it's awesome how you did that, because your kids were all watching, because they wanted to see. They probably could see the anger.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How you were gonna handle
that
anger. Yeah. And they probably laughed at you and made a joke for years to come, or they may have reacted the same way in certain situations.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, for that split second, I thought this is a moment they'll always remember. How I respond is they're going to remember this forever. If I yell, if I stomp, if I cuss, they're going to remember how I respond for the rest of their life. And I don't know, that weight of that hit me. And I want them to know that, hey, things are not going to go your way all the time, but you don't have to respond ignorantly. You can be wise. I went outside. I took a walk. I came back in. I said, hey, I'm going to go get some food. I was very calm. And, to them, like, okay, when things don't work out, I want them to see that this is how you respond. Yeah.
So what did you get to eat that night? Did you get
I actually had some teriyaki steak from Japanese.
You got So how important are a father's words to his child?
Yeah, man, how important. I don't think there are any more important words that a child could hear than from his fathers. I mean, scriptures tells us death and life is in the power of the tongue. One translation says, words kill, words give life. You choose. There's something to be said. Even when your kids are adults, we still lean and are inclined to hearing the voice of our parents.
Yeah.
There are situations, even in adult situations, where mothers, fathers have said something to their kids, their children, and you can have a 30, 40-year-old man impacted by what that father said, even at the age of 40. And so those words of a father are not just critical in the home, although they are. I mean, starting out, you definitely want to really place good words, good seeds on the inside of them. However, that happens the rest of their life. I mean, it really does. They may act like they're not listening, but they're listening to the words of their father. And so critical, the words of a father, very, very critical. I believe we need to take a deep breath before we speak to our children, because we don't want to say anything. I'm not asking anybody to be perfect, but I am asking people to be mindful of it. Take a deep breath before you respond. Be the mature one in the conversation. Your words. I mean, even if there's some different philosophies on this, but I would rather just encourage my kids in general. Hey, you can do that. I may not think he's a good basketball player, right? But man, if you want to play ball, you can play ball. If you want to cook, man, that food's not good. If you want to cook, man, you can cook. Encourage them. Let them know that, man, dad's behind them. And whatever I put my mind to, whatever I put my heart to, man, I can do it. My dad says I can do it. Now, there might come a day you got to have a real legit conversation. Say, hey, son, you might have to do something different. But never discourage your children.
Right.
Always encourage them to do whatever they're sensing that they can do. Now, I will say this. I need to add this, if I may, along with communicating words, is we have a responsibility as fathers to cultivate and help develop the gift that God has given them. Every child has a gift, and we have the opportunity and the privilege to mold that gift and help them really develop that gift. And we've got to be mindful and recognize it and help them develop it. That's really huge in being a father, not letting them do whatever they want to do.
Right.
Really looking, and when I mean whatever, well, they're gifted at, maybe playing an instrument, but they say, hey, they want to go and be, skateboarding. And I want to quit playing, I want to skateboard. No, we're not going to quit playing, because there's a gift you have there. Yeah. We're going to continue that. And with our words and with our leadership, we got to help them That's part of our goal. Now, when they turn a certain age and they can make their own decision, they're going to do what they want to do. But real critical that we help them develop that gift that God has given them. That makes sense?
Yeah, that was good. One of my questions was when you talked about cultivating the gift. I've heard people say that their parents made them play piano, and it turned them off from playing the piano. So how do you, when you're cultivating that gift that you see they have, like I play drums, it's something I love to do. Caleb likes the drums, but I haven't seen it to where he has to play yet. So I know he can do it because I bought him when he was younger and seen him do it, but I don't know if that's what he's going to want to do. So, but I know he's going to be gifted at it, but he may want to do something else. So how do you get them to be passionate about it if they don't want to do it, if they want to do something else?
This is an excellent question. I think what you have to do is you have to recognize it, and then you have to get a third party involved. I'll give you an example. My daughter, she wanted to swim, and so we put her in swimming lessons, or not lessons, competitions, so on and so forth. She got to the point that she didn't want to do it anymore. I thought she was good, but she didn't want to do it anymore. I ended up talking to her coach. And I said, is my daughter good? And, the coach was giving me the, running around bush. I said, let's shoot me straight. I'm a straight guy. Is she good? Can she get a scholarship? Is she good enough to get a scholarship for this? And the coach basically said, no, she's not that good. Well, at that point, a third party is saying, hey, that gift isn't necessarily there to get a scholarship. Now, that third party could be wrong, right? But my daughter didn't want to do it anymore. Her coach said, yeah, she's just not as good. At that point, hey, okay, you know what? Hey, let's go do something different. However, if that coach would have told me that, man, she is great, she's just not applying herself, or she's great, she's just not giving the effort, but I'm telling you, she's got talent I hadn't seen before, I think as a father, I think you got to steer them in that direction. I mean, ask Michael Jordan's dad, right? Michael Jordan wanted to quit and play baseball.
Yeah.
His dad said, no, you're going to keep playing basketball, right?
Yeah, true.
Look how it turned out. Tiger Woods' dad, same way. He was playing golf at, 11 years old? Tiger Woods beat his dad in a game. I mean, at that point, there's a gift there, right? Yeah. You got to cultivate that thing. I don't think at that point, a 10-year-old and 11-year-old is mature enough to make a decision as to what they want to do with the rest of their life if you see a gift in there. Now, we might get some pushback on this, Nate, and I'm okay with it, but at a certain age, that child's going to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
And that's fine. But in the critical years, I'm going to steer my children in the direction where I see they're most gifted. Now, if they want to stop playing at a particular time or stop whatever it might be, then yeah, they can do that at that time. But I'm not going to let them make that decision I got an 8-year-old at 8 years old. That makes sense?
Gotcha. Totally makes sense. I mean, I just wanted to ask that because if someone may have been thinking that, but I just wanted to ask the question because coming up, I wasn't pushed into to keep doing it. I had a passion for music. And I wanted to play drums all day, every day. Right. So it was nothing for me. I started playing baseball a little bit. I wasn't that good at baseball. I could hold a game, but I wasn't great. So I didn't keep up baseball. I went to and stuck with band, but I didn't have someone to say, this is your gift. I didn't have my father to say, this is your gift. I had my godfather, who I learned a lot of my music from when I started playing piano. And then, his daughter taught me how to play drums, but that's where I had the cultivation from. But it wasn't a thing where, I was, like you said, that cultivating and that, and I think it is crucial for fathers to do that for their children, especially at the young age between 3 and 10 because like I said, we're responsible for cultivating their life, for cultivating their gift, and guide them because we can see things that they can't see. Exactly.
And I also think, as equally as you'll say, some people say my parents push me in one direction, I think you'll hear another side of that, of people saying, you know what, I wish I was pushed in a particular direction. I wish my parents made me continue to do this or that. I wish they were more supportive in me doing this or that and that. So you got both sides of it, right? You got one side that, well, they made me do something, but the other side is saying, I wish they would have been more involved, right? And so you just have to, you got to follow your heart. And like I said, for me, we bring in third parties, experts and third parties. Hey, are they good? And not really. Okay, let's do something different. But if they say, hey, no, they're actually really good. Well, my son Zayvon, he plays the drums. He's got great potential. He can't at 8 years old tell me he don't want to play no more. I mean, everybody's telling me the guy can play. Well, he's going to play. Right?
His timing is perfect, is impeccable.
See, you're saying it. See, so he's got to play. Now he'll reach an age where he can make that decision, but not at 8 years old.
Right. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good meat. That's some good meat. So what advice would you give your children about prosperity?
Wow. Good question. I think that, well, first we got to define prosperity. And I know most people immediately go to money being the definition of prosperity. And I believe that prosperity means that you are advancing or succeeding or even thriving in a particular goal or something that you desire. And so although I think money is a piece of this pie that we call prosperity, I don't think it's the biggest piece of the pie.
Right.
I think, we got to be sound in our relationships. We got to be, there's so many things that's more important than money that we can even still call prosperity. I mean, our health is more important than money, and peace is more important than money, and joy is more important than money. I mean, so I don't want to just limit prosperity to money, although money is a piece of the pie that we call prosperity. So in scripture, right, John, the elder John says, beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health. I mean, this is his desire, even as your soul prospers. So soul prosperity, or the way we think, our emotions, our thinker, our chooser, our decider, our will, we got to prosper in those arenas first before we can prosper in any area of our life. And so I think prosperity is of utmost importance. But when I say that, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about advancing, succeeding, developing, growing, thriving, and putting your hand to something and then looking back and seeing that there's progress. And so prosperity to me is extremely important. I believe that we should all be on a path to prosper. I mean, I believe it's the will of God that we prosper. I like it. Was it God told Joshua, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night and observe to do all that's commanded in it, for then you will make your way prosperous. I mean, so it's God's will. He told him how to make his way prosperous, and you'll have success. So it's important that our children are prospering. It's important that we, teach them about prospering, but at the same time, it's not how much money they make is not important. Did they ever become a CEO? Did they ever, make $100,000? That's not important. What's really important is, man, are they growing in their health? Are they growing in their mindset? Is their soulish realm developing? Are they growing in their relationship? Are they healthy at work? Are they healthy in their mindset? I mean, those things to me are all a part of this word that we call prosperity.
And that's good. And one of the things I believe is that money, like you said, money is a part of it. And I think money is a byproduct of it, because it's principles. When you follow certain principles, when you plant a seed, you water it right, and you keep doing it, the seed is going to grow. It's going to grow, and you're going to get your harvest. And I believe that when the Bible said, beloved, I wish of all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prosper, along with your soul prosperity. So the more you prosper in the spiritual realm, the more everything else is going to come. So it can't help but, so you can't help but to prosper, and even in what area you set in, especially in your life, in your spiritual realm, everything else is going to follow that.
Absolutely. I mean, increase is always on the mind of God. I mean, he loves to bless and make things grow. I mean, increase is something that he has promised. Being fruitful is a part of prosperity. I would dare say that fruitfulness is the goal of your life. I mean, being fruitful is a part of being prosperous. And I think it's extremely important that my children are prospering. I'm going to help them in every way I can to help them prosper. But let's not belittle this word and say it only means money.
Right.
And you know, hey, we're live here, and this is just a pet peeve of mine. But people, you know, we talk about the prosperity gospel, and I know what people mean, that people are after people's money, and I get that. There are some people that are after people's money. However, it is God's will that we prosper. I mean, we can't take the baby, you know, what they say, throw the baby out with the bathwater. I mean, it is his will that we prosper. And although there might be a handful of folks that have misused and abused that word, we can't just get rid of it as well. I mean, the gospel includes prosperity.
Yeah.
Jesus said in John 10:10, I came that you may have life and have it more abundantly. I mean, that's talking about prosperity right there, having life till it overflows. So let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. I get it, but the Christian life should be a prosperous life.
Yeah, and I made a joke one time. I said, you know, when somebody said we're not supposed to be rich, we're not supposed to be rich. It's not about them. I'm looking at that, but if you feel that way, stop trying to get raises at work.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. Exactly. And rich is so relative, right? I mean, what's rich to you might be different to me, but the scriptures tell us to be rich in mercy, to be rich in kindness, to have great grace. I mean, so rich is a Bible word. And but listen, if you don't know how much a gallon of milk costs, then you're rich. If you don't know, if you have more than $1 in your bank account, you've got more than enough, you know? And so, you know, we don't want to be rich, but everybody seems to be after having more than enough, right? Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And it's important for our kids to know about prosperity, full life prosperity, total life prosperity at an early age. Because if they learn it now, if we teach them those principles and not try to keep it from them, then when they grow up, they're going to step into it, and it's not going to be a struggle for them.
Right. That's right. And
they're going to step right into it, because that's what wealthy people do.
Yeah.
Their kids growing up knowing. But if we want to go on the Bible, David said, I've never seen the righteous forsaken.
That's right.
Bread. David's ancestors were wealthy. You know, we take that scripture and take it out of context, but he said I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I've never seen lack. I've never seen poor. So I don't have a frame of reference for that, but it's good that we need to teach our kids that. So you have a book.
Yes.
So we want to tell everybody about your book. What's the name of your book?
It's called The True Life Experience. The True Life Experience.
So tell us about the book. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, the subtitle is How to Pursue God's Plan and Purpose for Your Life. And the question that really started the book, as well as even started our church, as a matter of fact, is there more to life than what you are experiencing? And I think if people are honest with themselves, they would say yes. And this book shows you and teaches you how to pursue God's plan and God's purpose for your life so that you can experience the true life that, he intended for you to live. And we're going to go, basically, it goes from me really in the introduction, it talks about me walking away from a 6-figure paying job so that I could pursue ministry full time. And I teach people through the book the process of how I did that, how we came to the conclusion, what things need to be in place. Because, preparation time is never, wasted time. And we've got to prepare. And this book helps you prepare, because I believe God's going to give each and every person listening, every man listening, every woman listening, an opportunity to do something uncomfortable. And are you ready? And I think this book helps prepare you to be ready. I mean, we get into here, and we get into, you know, how to find out the vision for your life and the purpose for your life and direction, and we get into how important your words are and greed, you know, and those kind of things, to get everything talked about and prepared so that you can, you can succeed and advance in this life.
That's good. That's good. How much is the book?
So the book's on my website now. I see it up, DaVonAlexander.com. On my website now, it's $15. However, for one, it's $15. But if you get two, I'll give you two for $20. Two for 20, one for 15, two for 20. And so you might as well get two and give it to your spouse, give it to your kids. It was forwarded by my good friend Daniel Cormier, who's the UFC heavyweight champion. So make sure you grab it and see what he has to say about the book as well.
Guys, make sure you go and get that book. That's a great deal. You get two for 20, one for 15, two for 20. And if you want to hear Pastor DaVon speak, you can catch him on Wednesday nights at 7 and Sunday mornings at 10 at True Life Fellowship Church. My wife and I are partners there, and we love it. We've been there since November. I'm not even trying to count the months real quick, but we've gotten a lot, and we've grown a lot, and our son loves it, and that's the biggest thing. You can tell Caleb if he don't want to do something, if you say he can't go to church, he do whatever you want him to do, so he can go to church.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys. You guys are a major asset to our church family, and you guys are awesome. You represent True Life well. You got our culture, and we appreciate you guys. Caleb, that big smile and them cars, you know, it's so good to see him every week. And so you guys are, we're just blessed to have you guys a part of our church.
And we're blessed to be a part. Pastor, thank you for coming on tonight. You guys remember, go to DaVonAlexander.com to get the book and to sign up for the blog. The blog is great. You get emails, get articles. Just sign up and you won't be disappointed. Pastor, thank you for coming on tonight. You be blessed, and I will see you on Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Love you, man. Tell everybody I said, hey, love you.
I love you too.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. All right, guys. That was a great interview tonight. Great wisdom from our pastor, Pastor DaVon Alexander. Again, if you go get his book, I still got the website up, DaVonAlexander.com. If you want it, get the book, and you'll enjoy it. Well, guys, I thank you for coming on tonight. As always, guys, check us out at kingdomrelationships.org. If you have any questions, you can email us there, or you can email us at krelationships@gmail.com. Missed you guys last week. We are back. We got some great interviews coming. We got some more daughters coming on to talk about fatherhood from a daughter's perspective. And we will be back next week. Guys, stay tuned. Got some things coming down the pipe for you. Love you guys. Be blessed. All right. See you next week.